It's 1975 and I'm almost 14 years old, wearing my grandfather's old army coat and walking into the local footy ground in the late afternoon. Something's been going on at the ground, like a carnival or athletics meeting. There's rubbish strewn around and a few people packing up behind the club rooms. A speaker on top of a tall silver pole is blaring out Bob Dylan's Hurricane very loudly. The treble of the voice, the harmonica, the violin and the snare drum rattle around in the speaker and shoot across the semi-industrial landscape of North Geelong. The Melbourne road traffic streams past on one side and the Pilkington glass factory glitters in the late afternoon sun behind the footy oval. The ground is home to the North Geelong Magpies, Collingwood colours, the oldest, toughest, most tragic footy team, just like Collingwood, in the Geelong and District League, who I play for in the under-15s. In this setting, the breathless street poetry, the street anthem, the raggle-taggle gang pouring out their protest in diamond-encrusted words are in sync with the surroundings. My adolescent imagination overheats and the scene before me explodes into a choreographed 7-minute street opera. I experience a massive surge of Bob, from which I will never recover. Hurricane 2. It's the end of the 1970s and the end of school. What will a young man who can only think of Bob and all he has discovered through Bob, Soul Dad Brother, Lenny Bruce, The Beats, Lightning Hopkins, John Coltrane do? But for the moment my father has a funny request. He wants me and a mate to go and pick up a tandem bike from a dentist called the Bob and ride it back across Geelong. My friend Greg Fleet, future comedian, and I catch the bus across town, and sure enough there's a tandem bike waiting for us. How do you ride this thing? After some hilarious attempts we get it up and going and are soon whizzing along in the December 1979 sunshine. Spontaneously I start singing, "Pistol shots rang out in a barroom night." Greg immediately sings back, "I didn't do it," he says, and he throws up his hands and does a Norman Gunston, acting out the words, vomiting up in his hands, ha ha, crashing us almost into the back of a lurching brown Leyland P76. 11 joyous verses later, with Reuben sitting like Buddha in a 10-foot cell, we arrive on the north side of town and deliver the bike. Hurricane 3. It's 1983 and I'm fronting a post-punk band called Buick KBT. We are sitting at the VCA Art School Ball or some such event. Two painter mates, Darren McPherson and Dave Ralph, have gained control of the social club and most importantly, the social club budget. And they are hell-bent on spending the year's budget all in one night. The lineup is made up of their favourite local bands, the Feral Dinosaurs, Buick KBT and Scrap Museum. His members go on to play in bands like Dirty Three, Bad Seeds and To Start Slam. The alcohol is all free. We go on second and swing into our new un-post-punk opening number, Hurricane, with the sax player playing the violin part. And the art students erupt into a dancing frenzy. I look down and see previously dainty art school princesses from Malvern, a drink in each hand, hurling themselves about as if it's the final dance on New Year's Eve at the Horsham Disco. Great. Hurricane 5. It's late 1990s. I've taken some years off playing gigs following a nervous collapse or period of exhaustion, whatever you'd like to call it. I call it my motorbike accident period. As I recover, the music itch returns, so I ring up for a gig. And of course, the Melbourne gig booking caper is a cruel mistress with a bad short-term memory problem. So it's Monday night, open mic night at the Punters Club for my return. I'm sitting in the lounge of the Punters Club with about 4 other people watching the guy before me wind up. Then a surge, nay, a phalanx of rugby players on an end-of-season pub crawl flood the Punters Club lounge. There are a whole lot of them trying to walk, drink, hug each other and sing at the same time. And the song they're trying to sing is the story of the hurricane. Seizing the moment, I quickly tune up, plug in and jump on stage. Purposefully I start strumming the famous A minor F major opening riff. Enter Paddy Valentine from the upper hall. The rugby players look up stunned, then their facial expressions change to that Aussie bloke look of respect and awe. And as the cups arrive in the hot New Jersey night, one of the fellas reaches into his pocket and pulls out a $20 note and plonks it at my feet on the stage. As a group they all begin to do the same, 10s, 20s, 5s, until by the time all the criminals are in their coats and their ties, are drinking martinis and watching the sunrise, there's $100 piled up by the fallback wedge. I'm guessing they'd been at a strip club before hitting Brunswick Street. Hurricane 5, the Bob, Birthday Bash 2009. I'd always steered clear of Bob tribute nights, believing the Strum acoustic Bob cover version pretty much misses the whole point. There's as much Jackson Pollock action painter and Bob stuff as there are traditional music tropes. In line with this belief, I decided to recreate the Rolling Thunder review for the 2009 Bob Birthday Bash. This celebrated tour took place around 1975-76. Backing Bob on this tour was a big band of diverse musicians. Bowie guitarist Mick Ronson and Rambling Jack Elliott, for instance, as well as a travelling cast of characters, poets, actresses, philosophers, shamans, roadies, playwrights, that grew or shrank depending on the night. For our recreation at the Edinburgh Hotel, Brunswick, we boasted 3 guitarists, 2 violinists, a percussionist, a drummer, a bass player, and a very tall poet in an orange caftan. The outfits were very important and the style was cowboy glam. Lots of denim and lots of glitter. As Bob, I went whiteface, as he did on the tour. Luckily, I found the perfect Bob nose by cutting off a Mr. Magoo mask nose. There were long wigs and fake moustaches spread across the band. We did Hurricane Isis very fast, as played on Rolling Thunder tour. And Where Are You Tonight, off Street Legal. The audience is stunned and wide-eyed, then cheer as if on the Rolling Thunder tour themselves. I mumble, "Good night, Sydney," and sweep off the stage without breaking character. Later I hear a rumour that Richard Clapton made a surprise appearance at the Bob Birthday Bash at the Edinburgh Castle Hotel, Brunswick.